Good morning and welcome back to Sunny Side Up. Faith is rejoining us. Faith, how you doing?
Good. Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe feeling a little anxious?
Yeah.
Why would we be feeling a little anxious this morning?
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure when you find rats in your garage at 9 in the morning, that'll make you a little anxious, you know?
Yeah. We chased two very large rats out of our garage this morning.
That was disgusting. I've never seen a rat that up close before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, huge and disgusting.
Have you ever seen them like in a pet store or something? Do you mean?
I don't know. I think I've only seen mice in pet stores. I don't think I've ever seen like I've seen a rat in New York, but that's a little bit different because they're like far away.
It's like pigeons in New York.
Yeah, and like in the subway and stuff, but like they don't look that like they're big, but they don't look. I don't know because they're far away. This was like I walked right past it, Michael.
I add that to the long list of just things going wrong in life right now.
Yeah.
So thankfully we're going to get an exterminator soon, and then we're going to buy traps today and poison or whatever and try to address it. I can't believe this. I've had mice before. Mm-hmm. Mice is something I've had to deal with before.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in my adult life that I've had to, in my own personal dwelling since becoming an adult, that I've had to deal with either mice or rats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had them growing up as a kid, but I've always been lucky. I think it's because I always choose second or third floor apartments.
Oh, that's fair.
This is the first house I've ever been in.
That's fair.
No, that's a lie. That's a dirty lie. I've been in.
Wow.
This is my third house,
You're
actually.
lying.
I know. Yeah. So this is my third house. I lived in a townhouse and like one of those really old buildings that gets converted into like 4 separate like housing things.
Yeah.
4 separate houses and one old house.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first like real place in college. So
That was the one that had the really annoying neighbor, upstairs neighbor downstairs.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, constantly stopping just for like stomping on the ceiling, well, my ceiling, her floor, for just like speaking at a normal volume in the living room in the middle of the day. Crazy. Anyways, I'm going to be so for real with you, you being the audience. This might be a little bit of a weird episode. Usually we like share stories or like bigger things that have happened or things that I've been like thinking about a lot. But over the last week and a half, a lot of things have gone wrong.
Yeah, as said previously.
And the stress of all of that has made it very hard to concentrate on like producing things. I didn't talk about this last week because it was still like everything was still developing. But in the last week, I've had so much go wrong. So we're going to go through some of these items. It's been a rough point. So for one, work difficulties.
Yeah.
At its number one height for me.
And even that alone will really do it to you.
Yeah. So I'm in a field that I don't have education or experience in. I'm in like a specialized IT field, and I've had this job for about a year.
But I want to say, like, just because you have no training, like, you have no prior experience or a degree, you're good at your job. You know what you're doing. Like, yes.
I wouldn't say I'm good.
Well,
I think I can perform some of the minimum requirements of the job.
I think that, like, you're still good at your job. I feel like that made it sound like I probably shouldn't even have this job in the first place, but like
sometimes I feel that way.
you do your job well, and if you would have had proper training, I think you would feel a lot better. I think that's a big part of it. So.
I would agree. If I didn't have to train myself, it would have been a different story.
Yeah.
To be clear, my job is to customize document automation software for clients and then troubleshoot and fix things as they break on people. And this could be either software being stored on-premise servers or cloud-based software. And I'm a solution provider. And our company is a solution provider, and my role is solution engineer. So my job is supposed to be engineering these document automation solutions, building workflows, things that manage everything in the back end of a software that's really boring for most people. So I don't have education or experience in this, and my manager really wants me to be ready to advance and take strategic responsibilities, which is normally a good place to be. It's more like that feeling means that you're kind of secure in your job because people want you to move up and like keep on doing bigger and better things and making bigger choices. Normally that's a great place to be in. I think in my scenario, it's not so great because I am like I'm stressed every day about doing the bare minimum of what my job description says, let alone things that go beyond my job description. So work, which is pretty much your life in America, just rough, real rough. And you just don't get enough vacation or any kind of leave to like recuperate and feel better.
Especially when you only have vacation.
Yeah. So I don't want to get into the work thing too much because, I'm not trying to get in trouble. But that is one of the major things.
It's been stressful, yeah.
That has been impacting life. The next thing is my car broke down.
Oh,
So
I genuinely, Michael, the day that you were working on that and you came back inside and we were trying to figure out a plan, I was genuinely concerned you were about ready to have a heart attack. Just the way that, your face was so pale and, your breathing was, very shallow. I genuinely was so scared you were about ready to have a heart attack. Dead ass. I was nervous you were about ready to have a heart attack.
God, it's rough. But I will say this. Thank God for the father-in-law I do have.
Yeah.
I love your dad. Phenomenal man. Great guy. I never learned more than basic maintenance to work on cars. And I feel like as a working class member, that's not really an option. I feel like if you are working class, it's just incredibly irresponsible not to learn how to work on cars.
Yeah, because it's expensive. If something breaks, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And mechanics can kind of do whatever they want. They can price it whatever they want. You're kind of at their mercy if you don't know what to do or what you're doing.
Right. And so, I could do an oil change, tire rotation. I can do, replacing filters. I can do new battery. I can do kind of a lot of that basic stuff.
Yeah, me too.
But
because we had a class in high school that taught us all those basics.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess I could have taken shop classes. But
this class was specific. I think it started the year I took it, but it literally was, I can't remember what it was called, but it was for people that don't know anything about cars to take a class to learn the bare minimum. That's what it was. If you don't know how to, that's what it was. And I was like, well, this seems, I needed an elective thing. And I was like, well, this seems kind of like a no-brainer. I feel like this is actually a very useful class. And I think it was very useful.
Yeah. I feel like schools that exist in rural or low income areas or know that they service a lot of low income families, I feel like they should make a requirement. Listen, you can't, living as an adult without knowing how to work on your car is not really an option.
No.
And so I feel like I wish it had been required, although I would have fought that so hard to not take that. As a kid, working on a car or learning how to work on a car was the last thing I was ever interested in doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just lack of interest. I don't know if it was because I can't say that I was lazy as a kid because I put in a lot of work with my siblings and just, low income family, oldest child expectations. But goddamn, I wish I had learned how to work on a car.
I think the only reason I really did that class too is because my cousin Natalie did it with me. And so it was a chance for us to hang out at school too, because we're very close. And we were like, why not take this class together? This would be kind of fun. And then we had another class together right after it. And so it was fun. And we sat together, and the guy that taught the class, was the youth pastor at my church, actually. So I had already known him for a very long time. And so he was like, he was very fun, very funny, very like engaging with people. And so it was a fun class. He also helped me unlock the keys out of my car like 5 times that I did it at school. This guy was the best.
Ridiculous with that.
I know. This guy was the best. Like, he was great. I really loved him. Like, youth pastor, like he was pretty cool. And so that class was fun. And I think I think he was a little, not like annoyed with Natalie and I, but we definitely weren't.
Oh, please.
Like, he made jokes about it and stuff. Like, if he was really annoyed, he would have split us up. Like, he wouldn't have let us sit next to each other.
As we've been together, you have told me stories about, me and this person, me and now my cousin, taking these classes together, and every teacher finding you, like, annoying tells me that I doubt you learned anything in this mechanic class.
Listen, Michael.
You were the worst high school student.
No, I was the best. I had a 3 point. Listen, Michael. I had a 3.4 GPA through my entire high school career. I did FFA. I was involved with the things I wanted to be involved in. Didn't really give a shit about sports, but like FFA and stuff. And I wasn't like, we weren't like disruptive person. Like, we never got in trouble, and it was because we weren't being very disruptive. Like, we were annoying.
That's because you just left.
No. Like, in classes, especially with Rachel, like, we were annoying, but it wasn't to the point where they were like, okay, you guys need to be split up now. Like, we never crossed that line to being disrespectful. Because I had an older brother that severely needed some ADHD meds when he was in high school, and he was the disruptive one.
Oh, okay.
He was known as the talker class clown because he couldn't sit still. So me following in his footsteps, they were like, oh, he's the talkative, disruptive one. And I was very quiet unless I was in a class with like Rachel or Natalie. So like we weren't disrespectful. We just had a good time. So this class was fun, and it was very useful, and I do really appreciate like them starting that class because I felt like it was very, very helpful. So I had severe social anxiety all through, like, until I got to college, Michael. Severe. I did not talk. I hated talking in class. So
I think that's everyone, though. Most people. Anyways.
Off track, but continue.
Yeah. As you know, I hate owning cars.
Yeah.
I went, like almost 2 years not owning a vehicle before we moved here, and I had to get one.
Well, because you had one when we met, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I went 2 years without owning a vehicle.
I think so, too.
And that was a blissful 2 years.
It was.
It was so nice because I lived in a walkable city.
Yeah. Not even that, but your job took you 7 minutes to walk to.
Yeah. And that was a casual pace. Like, if I could usually get to work in 5 minutes walking. God, I miss that.
Yeah.
If I walked to work, I'd get there about lunchtime, I think now. So I just wish we lived in a state, let alone a country, that cared for public transportation. I wish there was a better bus system here. I wish... I would honestly be so happy to never own a vehicle again for the rest of my life, but that's just not an option. You have to be in a walkable community with reliable public transportation. And that's not going to happen here in Idaho.
Probably not. Plus, like, with all the things we like to do. Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, it's just, like, not realistic. Like, I understand. But, like, every aspect about it is not realistic.
To defend my position of saying I hate owning cars, I think, to be fair, I've also only ever had vehicles that need work to survive. Like,
yeah.
I've only ever bought beaters to get me by for a couple of years. It's been nice. I've never had a car payment in my life. I'm 30 years old, and I've never had to worry about a car payment. Thank God. But it's also meant that I've gone through a lot of vehicles in my 30 years of living. Since I got my first car in high school till now, Like, people are, oh yeah, I had, this car that got me all the way through high school and college or whatever, blah blah blah. Not me.
Yeah.
I've lost track of how many cars I've owned in my life, because they go for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I figure out how to get it to survive for that long, and then it totals for, something going wrong that's too expensive to replace it. And you're like, it's cheaper to just go get a new vehicle. And so I've been on that cycle for half my life, and I think that's why I hate owning a vehicle.
Yeah. Because my brother in high school, our joke was that he had a new car every single year of high school. Like, he just kept wanting a new, like, something new.
That trait runs in your family.
Yeah. Okay. But me with cars, I've only had 3. I had the first one because it came from my brother, because he got a new car, and when I got my license, they were like, well, we have this one, we're just going to keep it, and, like, she'll just have it. And so I had that one, but the brakes stopped working, and I almost ran into so many, like, the brakes were horrible. I literally hit our parked car coming into the driveway because the brakes wouldn't work, and I couldn't stop. Like, it was a hazard to drive, actually. And so my dad bought this other car that was, like, kind of, used, whatever. And he planned to use that for him to get to work, just, like, cheaper gas and stuff. But then he realized how bad my car was and how dangerous it actually was to drive. There was also no air conditioning in it. So in the summer, it was miserable. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, I don't think I want you driving that car anymore. So then he gave me this one. Well, this one, the gear shift was broken, and it was a nail in it, so it got just scorching hot, so you had to be careful when you drove when it was hot.
What the hell?
And then the power steering fluid, you had to put new fluid in it about once a week, otherwise you wouldn't be able to turn. And again, I almost hit so many things because I couldn't turn my wheel. So those were my cars, and then the engine on that one, I don't know what happened. It got old, and it could barely get to Cambridge. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there's no way in hell this car is going to get me to Moscow. Like, it was right before I left for school, and I was like, I need a car. I can't drive. And I think my parents were kind of like, yeah, okay, you're fine. But I was seriously looking at cars, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? Like, asking my dad, because I was like, I'm not taking this. I know you think I'm joking, but I'm not. Like, this is not happening, and I, refuse to not have a car. I hate the feeling of being stuck. So, I refuse to not have a car. And again, I feel like a lot of this podcast is going to be us bragging about how amazing my dad is. Because I got home, because I did a lot of community service, too, so I got home from one of my community service things, and they were like, oh, we need to go over here, Dad needs some car parts, Costco, blah, blah, blah. So we came over to Boise, and they pulled, I wasn't paying any attention, they pulled in to a used car part, and my dad turns around and looks at me and goes, you have 10 grand, let's go pick out a car. And Jesus. I was like, are you kidding me? And he was like, no, I, see how serious you are, and you've, worked really hard this year, and your grandma and grandpa helped out, we've got this much, let's go find you a car. And that's how I have my car. And it's all paid off and everything now. So, my dad is the best. Because that's how I got my car. And it's I don't know. I feel like for my age, I shouldn't have a car as nice as I do. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, my dad, so he got me a new car.
You are a spoiled little daddy.
I know.
All right. And then,
I'm grateful for it, Michael.
And then the next thing that's been wrong is that I have been sick for 2 weeks now.
Oh, sorry. I don't think you finished your car thing. My dad helped you put the part in.
Yeah.
That's what the thing was.
Yeah. I guess, thank God for a father-in-law, because, he did come down and we worked on my car for 4 or 5 hours. Because my dad, to replace a radiator that was cracked.
As my dad says, he graduates from YouTube University, and they figured it out.
We would work on the car for a little bit, and he's like, I'm going to watch the next section of this video. Yeah. And then, also, your dad's YouTube ads are all terrible AI overvoiced ads, and I'm like, oh God, I would go absolutely crazy if I had to listen to these shitty ads. I guess it's better than constant, nonstop prescription ads that we always get on everything.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I've been sick as a dog for the last 2 weeks. Ridiculous, right? And now you're getting sick.
Yeah.
But our sicknesses are definitely two different things, I think. I feel very confident in saying that. But I've been losing my voice. I was losing my voice for like a week. And if in the last episode, the episode before this one, like you could hear it. Like it was like, oh, how you doing? Kind of thing, you know? It was awful. And to make it worse, so I'm in the middle of starting. So at work, I broke a major rule that I've had my entire life and started hanging out with people I work with. It's always been a rule in my life that you are not to be friends or socialize outside of work with coworkers. I just genuinely don't consider it a safe thing to do. And so I've always avoided it, but I was like, oh, I miss playing D&D and I need some kind of social interaction since moving here, since other things have fallen through. So I started playing D&D at work. And the DM, we just play for like 4-5 hours every other Wednesday. And the DM, in case you're not familiar, I guess I shouldn't use acronyms in case someone listening to this does not know these acronyms. So the DM, or Dungeon Master, is the person who runs the game. They create the world, they create the story, they guide you along, they play all the bad guys.
They don't have to create the world, though.
Not necessarily.
They can, like, play from an already developed world.
Yeah.
They just, like, are God, basically, in the world.
You play God, and everyone's rolling math rocks, dice of various numbers and sizes to determine the outcome of actions. That's essentially all D&D is role-playing with your friends and rolling math rocks and hoping that those math rocks are nice to you. So anyways, the DM needed a break, and I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I really want you to run an adventure, maybe a handful of months, and we can check out what you do. Yeah,
because Michael, you're usually the DM. Like, that's usually your role, is you don't really get to play. So
in my, let's see, first time when I started playing D&D, I was 14 or no, I was 16, because I remember driving to my dad's to play with someone there. So I've been playing D&D for 16 years, since I was 16, so 14 years. And in all of that time of almost constantly playing, I would say, I mean, there were a few months breaks here and there, but playing every single week for multiple hours. And all this time, before this work session, I've only got to play a character for 1, maybe 2 sessions ever. So I've never actually got to be a player until now. So it's been nice being a player. But then the DM was like, I need a break. Would you be willing to do an adventure for a little while? I'm like, great. Yeah, we'll start this off with a surprise 2-shot on the last 2 Friday the 13th. And then we'll go into an adventure that takes place shortly after that 2-shot. And as I'm trying to get all of this set up.
2-shot means like 2 sessions. They do 2
like
sessions.
A 2-session adventure. Yeah. A 2-session quick thing. Thank you. Damn. Lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Anyways, no, it's good to explain these things, and I can always get my way back there. I can talk my way back into it. And so that's what I'm about to do. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, okay, got it. So as I'm trying to run this 2-shot, my voice is like this, you know? And I'm like, as a DM, you have to be yelling and screaming. You have to be making monster noises.
Like
you don't have
voices.
to, but like, come on, you do it. You know, that's what makes it fun. And doing all these different voices with my voice like on the cusp of just being totally gone has been a nightmare. Because the thing is about running my games is that I have been passionately developing this world that people get to play in when they play with me since I was a kid. Like the very first world building I ever did, I was like 6 years old looking into conlangs, which are constructed languages. They're essentially like fake languages people create for books, movies, whatever. Like Dothraki from Game of Thrones. That's a conlang. And so my very first conlang I started developing when I was just 5 or 6 years old, because my grandpa was like, he saw his house had a printer. So I went to his house to print out like the Atlantean alphabet from Atlantis, the Disney movie.
Yeah.
One of the greatest Disney movies ever made. Anyways, and he was like, "Oh, that's really cool. Is this something you're interested in?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really like these fake languages. I just think they're really cool." And he encouraged me to pursue that, and that's why I started creating my own languages. And I feel like that was the start of where like I started really liking world building. And then I wrote my very first story in 5th grade, and
Don't you still have it too?
Yes, I still have the first page of that story. Carefully preserved, although it will never see the light of day because it is horrific as a 5-year-old or as a 10-year-old would write, you know. And I just most of the story was me taking classmates and then putting them into this story. Anywho, I've been passionately developing this, and nothing makes me.
I feel like let's go back because I feel like you're underselling what you've done here. It's not just like, oh, I kind of created this fake language, this world. You have put so many hours, not only into like your characters and like what this world looked like, but you literally will research different biomes, plants, like what grows here. Like you make it like as realistic as you possibly can, and you have done so much freaking research about how like environments and climates work, how like what plants would grow, what soil they need, like how it would all work. And it's incredibly impressive about how much work you put into this. So didn't want you to downplay it because it is
Stroke that ego.
Yeah. It's a huge
I
world
will say
that
I
you've been
know
building.
way too much about agricultural practices and desert biomes.
Exactly.
That like I know way too much about those things that I have outside of this world have no use knowing these things.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like obviously you use Google. We're in 2026. But like when we go to thrift stores and like look around at bookstores, you're also looking at like, oh, this book might be cool to read to put in my
encyclopedias, reference books on
like plant books. Like you'd use a lot of those too, which I think is very cool as well. So
yeah, I do love my little miniature library that I've created for like world building reference books. So anyways, between being sick and like therefore my head's kind of in a fog and losing my voice, and I'm trying to deliver like speeches and do all these things for D&D, and nothing makes me more disappointed than when I can't adequately share what I've created. And like I drop the ball on remembering things, or I give conflicting information. I'm like, no, shoot, you know, like I'm just in a head fog, right? More so than normal. So it's not been working out very well for me. And it's very, very frustrating trying to do this with 9-10 people sitting around a table who are all actively engaged and very much interested in learning more. And I'm like, hold up, let me rack my brain and try to like clear the head fog. So it's been rough. And then to pile on top of that, for months now, my to-do list has been growing a lot, which not something I can handle very well.
Yeah, it's a like long to-do list is like your worst nightmare.
It is. I was about to say it's my personal nightmare. Those are the words that I was about to say. The longer my list gets, the harder it is for me to get anything off of it. So then it gets longer, and then it just like compiles on top of each other. It creates this like paradox where the list is growing longer and I can't get rid of it, but I can't get rid of it and I can't work on anything because the list is getting too long. It's like, it's just who I am.
To be fair though, a lot of the things on the list are like spring cleaning things, and a lot of the stuff on your list kind of all happened right at one time that needed to be done, and so your list got long kind of really fast. Because it's getting to the time of year where, like, okay, it's getting warmer. Shit needs to be done now. So.
Yeah. It's exponentially destructive to my executive function, this paradox. And it's so hard to deal with and so frustrating because that's just, like, the way my brain works. I can't just... And also, once something goes on the to-do list, it is not allowed to come off until it's done. And... Which is like also not the way, because like when you sit down and you look at your to-do list, it's like, okay, it's too much. You reasonably, what you're supposed to do is say, okay, what is not actually that important? What can I take off this list? But for me, like I said, it's on the list. It has to be done. You can't just wipe it off the list because you're being too lazy or too tired or too busy. Yeah. No, you got to get that shit done. And I don't put that on other people. I put that on myself only, which thank God, because otherwise that would make me insufferable.
Well, yeah. What? I forgot what I was going. Oh, I feel like you need to get better about prioritizing. That's the thing. Like you have this long list. Like, oh, this week, pick the most 5 important things, or like however many, and do those. And then the next week, you do the same thing. So then, like, you have this big master list that you're pulling things from, but your list for the week is smaller, so then you'll actually do them.
I try to do that. That's why I've built several of my own personal, like, to-do list trackers. Mm-hmm. And no matter what I do, a to-do list tracker or, like, a to-do list, like a section offer like you're talking about, they work for about 2 months, and then I have to switch to a new like project management system to get these things done, but then that creates a cycle of me doing more work so I can do work. And I can't stick to I can't stick to a notepad. I can't stick to a day-by-day breakdown. I can't stick to Todoist. I can't stick to anything that I've ever come across. Has never been able to hold my attention for longer than a couple of months. And so I cycle through. And then I just have all this junk laying around. And the list gets longer. So that, among other things, everything has been piling up, and it's just been a really rough couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And so it's led me to this point where it's like I was trying to come up with stuff. And because we don't really have like a real solidified like what we do every episode, like we don't sit down every weekend and go, here's the events, here's what we think about, like we switch it up so much. There's not a set standard for what this podcast is, which is not good if you were trying to like build something, and we're not here, thankfully. But if we were trying to build something, this would be the worst way to go about it. So the other part of this is because I've been on so much overload, I have not been able to come up with like a big things to talk about, which is where this came from. And I was laying in bed trying to figure this out. And now we've talked for 30 minutes about everything that's gone wrong in life. And I'm like, solid. I can make a conversation out of this, right? Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be the bulk of the episode. I have a couple of things I wanted to go through. And because I can't come up with anything long, I just have short things. Okay. First of all, there is an anime show we watch called Jujutsu Kaisen. Mm-hmm. It's extremely popular, very big.
For a reason.
Just beautiful art, right? Just really great art, and really good music too. And
I feel like voice actors too. I feel like the voice actors are
100%. Yeah. Both the English and the Japanese actors, phenomenal. So I'm going to play a little bit of a song, and then I want to explain this song real quick. So we're going to go ahead and start here. So this song is used to explain. One thing to know about Jujutsu Kaisen, or JJK, is that it is extremely confusing and pretty much impossible to follow what is actually happening.
Yeah, you have to kind of be like, okay, I get the gist, but let's move on.
Basically in the show, what happens is they have Jujutsu sorcerers who are responsible for eliminating cursed beings from Japan. And there's like, when someone dies or something horrible happens to them, these negative emotions can manifest into essentially demons that will eat and kill everyone. And so these sorcerers have been tasked since the beginning of time to use their sorcery to kill these manifested beasts. And the song I played is used when they need to explain someone's technique, because each sorcerer has their own unique individual technique and how they fight. And all of them are very confusing.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them don't make a lot of sense. You just have to kind of go, okay, I guess that makes sense. Like, sure. You can't, like, think too much about it. You can't try and, like, actually, like, figure out and try to understand how it works. You just have to be like, okay, cool. I like somewhat get that. Let's just watch it and maybe I'll figure it out then too. Like there's no, the only thing I know to be true is everything is except Satoru Gojo.
Yeah, Satoru Gojo, the most attractive man in this show, with blue, like the most beautiful ocean you can imagine. That's what his eyes are, right?
Yeah, they're like insane.
So that song comes on every time they try to explain someone's power, right? And it's recently become a TikTok trend to use this sound. I'm going to guess this has not come across your For You page.
I think it has a couple of times, maybe.
Okay. So people are using it to then explain like beer pong or acrobatics, just whatever someone happens to have like knowledge of. They'll put the song on and then just have like the computer read out like the explanation, the like hyper specific, very detailed explanation of how something works. And the one that really struck with me was someone played it over like this move that they did in volleyball. And they explained the exact kind of not whatever it is when you hit the ball, whatever that's supposed to be called.
Spike?
Not a spike.
My mom listening to this is gonna be really disappointed because she was a volleyball coach for a long time, and she's gonna be like, Michael.
Well, so they explained in great detail about this volleyball thing, and I 100% believe that without that explanation music in the background, I would have never understood what they were trying to teach me about volleyball. But now every time this song plays, I'm like, oh, I'm about to learn something here. And it hits my brain in just the right way that I'm like, all right, I know how to play volleyball now. All right, that explains the island and ping pong and why it's such a big deal. Like everything just clicks in my brain when this song plays, and I understand things in a way that I don't think I could have ever understood in any other format, whether reading it, being taught it, being talked at about it, nothing.
That's really
This
funny.
thing has been great. And so now I play 30-minute loops at work of this song so that I can, when I'm like trying to learn something, when I'm taking like a workshop or something, I will put that song in the background and I'm like, I'm locked in and I know and I understand everything you're saying.
I can't believe you do that.
Really? You can't believe I do that?
You're so insane. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
I wish I had something geared up, because then I would just go like this and then start explaining it to you, and then you would understand exactly what I mean. It's phenomenal. This thing makes everything clear. No matter how difficult or complicated the subject is, you play this and I promise you I could ace an exam on it. So yeah.
You're such a nerd.
A nerd? I mean, yeah, that's accurate, but I think you're saying that in a derogatory fashion.
No.
There. No? Are you sure about that? Anyways, the song is called Delirious. Also, nobody uses that name for this song. You cannot find the name Delirious anywhere on TikTok. Trying to find this on Google has been a nightmare. So anyway, I cannot tell you how long I spent trying to find the name of it. So I'm sharing it here. It's called Delirious. Try it out. If you're trying to learn something, put a 30-minute track of Delirious. There's like a perfect loop version of it on YouTube. I promise you, you're going to learn something. You're going to learn something good.
Okay.
Okay. The next thing.
Sorry, one other thing about this show. We will literally get to all the way to the end of an episode, and Michael will look at me and be like, did you understand what was happening? And almost every time I say, no. Not at all.
And yet we love it.
Was purely vibes. I was going off of like some cool bites. Cool. No idea what was going on though.
Okay, the last thing I want to get out there, because we're going to work on my to-do list together today, and I want to get to that. Mm-hmm. After this, we're going to go get to see a new dog bed. Mm-hmm. Much needed. But I wanted to talk about Chuck Norris.
Okay.
First of all, rest in peace. Chuck Norris has passed away. I wanted to bring this up because I'm curious, was Chuck Norris as substantial of a cultural icon that surrounded you growing up as it was for me? Because for me, when social media memes were like in their infancy, I guess maybe not infancy, but when they were still developing into what they are today. So yeah, like the prior iteration when it was really starting to get popular, Chuck Norris was the star of social media memes for me growing up. Did you have that experience?
I don't think so. Like, not, I don't think in that way. Like, I definitely know his name because it's been referenced in like shows and like movies and stuff that I've watched. But I don't think, because like when you said that, I like couldn't picture his face and I didn't quite know who it was, but I knew the name and I knew that he had like a very significant impact on like the previous generation. So like your generation, like I knew that, and so I knew that he was like an important figure. It just didn't quite land with my generation, I think, or at least like where like my side of my generation, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like I know of him, just not quite enough.
Sure. And that's the thing, like he wasn't like, I honestly didn't feel like he was a major star even when I was like at the time that this was all happening. But his legacy just continued on. Like, he was just such a prolific figure. In the way that, if you're familiar with Jujutsu Kaisen, and Faith, this will make it clear for you. And the way that in that show, everyone is like, it's impossible for anyone to hit me. And no one can fight me, blah, 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 blah. The excuse is always, except, of course, for the sole exception of Satoru Gojo. He can do anything. You know, he can break any barrier. He can whatever.
Yeah.
That's what Chuck Norris was for me growing up.
Okay.
Every meme was how, oh, yeah, like Chuck Norris built the hospital he was born in, you know? Like, just insane, ridiculous things like that. And that it just ran. And it became so prolific that it just in conversation, you know, it would come up that, oh, yeah, Chuck Norris could do that. Or that would never happen to Chuck Norris. It was so weird. And I also don't know, was this unique? No, you know what? I feel confident in saying that was not unique to my school or my area, because it would just be in random Facebook groups that you would see this meme about Chuck Norris. And so it was kind of just everywhere in the early days of like social media widespread adoption and memes kind of becoming more of a cultural touchstone for everyone. Not just niche hardcore internet users.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I just want to rest in peace to an absolute legend. I honestly don't think I've ever watched a single Chuck Norris movie. And yet he has been such a prolific and long-term figure in my life. It's weird. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to bring it up because he was such a big deal for
and I feel
everyone.
Like there's definitely a lot of people out of there that are really bummed out about this one. Like, he was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up, though.
Yeah.
Let's go get a dog bed. I don't owe a second movie choice because last week's movie recommendation was, in fact, not a repeat from the official movie club list, so that's good. So I'm going to recommend one of my personal favorites in, like, junior high.
Okay.
And that movie is Black Knight.
Okay.
I'm going to assume you've never heard of this movie.
No.
Okay. So, quick explanation of Black Knight. It stars Martin Lawrence, which I've never seen Martin Lawrence and not enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
Do you know who Martin Lawrence is?
No.
Okay. Okay, so he is it's important to the story that he is black, but he's a black man who's working at a medieval themed like a medieval theme park. And he gets hit in the head and he wakes up in like the 14th century England. And yeah, I see that look. And he is trying to navigate being like a modern man in 14th century England, and everyone was like, "Oh, you must be the diplomat from the Moors." And he's like, sure. And so then he starts just like changing everything. and he like falls in love with someone he's not supposed to fall in love with, causes a lot of issues. They want to kill him at times, but then he manages to like help lead like an army. It's a whole thing. It's not an action movie. It's pure comedy.
Okay.
And I loved this movie. I watched it so many times growing, like back to back in several years in like middle school and early high school. It's it probably doesn't hold up super well as being as entertaining today as it probably was in, I think 2001 is when I want to say the movie came out. Obviously comedy landscape has changed. But it's a great movie. And if you like Martin Lawrence at all, you're going to find this very interesting, very funny. The movie actually starts, the starting scene is him going into a bathroom, and it's just like snapshots of him doing absolutely everything he can to clean his mouth out. And they just basically, and the director's commentary or whatever, they said, or Martin Lawrence said that they put like floss and toothpaste and toothbrushes and just like everything you can imagine. They put it in the bathroom and told him, go wild, do whatever you think would be funny. And so he went to this bathroom and just like making all the faces that Martin Lawrence makes, trying to like get in between every single tooth. And it's just a very funny way to start the show. You just, start the movie. So I'm going to end it there. Faith, do you have any recommendations?
I do.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Is it another book?
No.
Oh,
actually.
What do you got?
Well, I could do that. No. Okay. My recommendation, because we watched it last night, is Zootopia 2. Because, why'd you say it like that?
It came out more nasally than intended, because I'm sick. I didn't mean it in that way.
Okay. I was very pleasantly surprised with Zootopia 2. I hadn't watched it yet because I was a little I was like, nah, I don't know. Like the first one was pretty good, but like usually second movies aren't great, you know? So I was like, I wasn't really interested, but then Emily put it on and it was actually really good. Like it was predictable. Like we kind of figured it out in the beginning. Michael. Sure.
I figured out the exact plot. I came into the movie late, watched 5 minutes, and was like, this is the plot. And you guys like, no. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, damn it, Michael's right.
That's not quite how that went down,
Yeah,
but
I'm
sure.
pretty sure
You gave your theory and you said this is the vibe I'm getting, and we were like, oh, I don't really get that vibe. So we didn't say you were wrong. So
okay.
But we were both there was one thing that we didn't figure out that we were all surprised by. So I don't know, it was such a good movie. Like I think I kind of like it better than the first one. Like
I think I would too.
The plot
was
that. So good. Like I really, really enjoyed it. So it was super fun, and they did a really, really amazing job at building like the world of Zootopia. Like they put so much thought and intention into it, and I can tell they just have so much fun being like, okay, how would these animals like actually live? Like how would they live? And it's just so fun to think of like all their creations, like the mouse that works in the vending machine to help get things that are stuck. Like that's such a fun little thing that was added that like, yeah, that would totally happen in this world. It was just, it's a really fun movie.
It is a kids movie.
Oh, yes.
Well, how did I explain it?
It's a
Zootopia is more like an adult movie an adult comedy movie that is thinly veiled as a children's cartoon.
Yeah, like I feel like kids might not appreciate Zootopia as much as like adults do.
It's a lot like how Shrek was. Like as a kid, you're like, ha ha ha, they made a joke, but as an adult, you're like, that should not have been in a kid's movie.
Yeah.
That was a little sexually charged there.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of jokes about three-ways.
Yeah.
Threesomes in that movie. Yeah. And I was like, damn. And then they made a foursome joke at the end. I was like, wow. Okay. And I know they did it because there is so much internet like need and desire for the two main characters, Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps, to like be a couple. And a lot of that is perverted fan content. But
and it's they skirt around it so hard in the movies that they don't actually come out and say but it's like skirted around so hard. So it is a very, very, very fun movie. I really, really enjoyed it.
I I love that we were laying in bed and we just had nothing because we were tired, exhausted, and sick. And I was like, I think we're going to have like a 15-minute really shitty episode. And we've been recording for 50 minutes. And this might be one of our longest.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up. Let's get to the store. Thanks for joining me, Faith.